So, welcome, Ilkay Gundogan.
Thank you.
Wie ist die Stimmung bei Ihnen und im Team?
So, how's the mood? How's the mood among your teammates towards the game tomorrow? The mood is great. Didn't change since the last games. So we're feeling super prepared for a very difficult game, a game on equal level, I think. But there's no reason to not be very confident tomorrow.
Hola, Ilkay, buenas tardes. Miguel Ángel Lara de Marca de España. Te quería preguntar por Lamine Yamal. Tú lo has visto crecer este año.
I wanted to ask you about Lamine Yamal. You've seen him grow. Did you expect from him after what you've seen when you met him?
Should I answer in English or in German? Yeah, Deutsch. Pardon, no español, okay. Ja, Lamine ist natürlich für sein Alter extrem weit. Also was der Junge mit 16
Lamine, for his age, he's extremely far, extremely mature. What he showed last season was really unique. Especially when you look at yourself and where you stood at 16 years old, it's a different place. And it shows that this new generation is already able to play football at such a level, to take responsibility on the pitch already. That's why he and his style of play, the risk he's taking, and which is always or many times rewarded because he has the quality. He's already a very important player for the Spanish national team and also for Barca for the next few years, maybe the next decade, maybe the player who makes the difference. And that's why I have the utmost respect, the highest respect for this boy at his 16 years. Ilkay, a simple question. What about Rodri tomorrow? And then many people were thinking about Toni Kroos. Maybe it could be his last game. Do you think this would be the last game? Oh, for me, you say, or Toni? For me, no. To be honest, I didn't think about it. I just heard about, Toni Kroos during the last few days. It could be his last match. And of course, we hope that it won't be his last match. We will give it everything. And about Rodri, it's incredible his development he took. I can still remember the first year back at Man City when he arrived. After training sessions, he stayed 30, 45 minutes more, was still speaking, discussing, learning, trying to learn things. And he was always learning. And he managed to perfectionate his game, his style. That is why on this position at the moment, I think he's extraordinary. He's the best as a holding midfielder. I think he's the best player in the world, and you can't really eliminate such a player for 90 minutes. But of course, there are certain tools how you can disturb him, how you can make his life more difficult. Then maybe you can get him to think about it. Maybe you can bring him into doubt. And this is part of our plan that we have for tomorrow.
Hi, Ilkay, Paul Bayus from The Athletic. I wanted to ask you, because there was like a huge debate in Spain just before the Euros about like the style that the team should play, maybe not that much passing the ball for the sake of it and be more direct. I wanted to ask you, like, how do you face that from the German perspective? Like, if as a team you have like an established philosophy and way of playing, or if you are willing as well like to sit deep and to counterattack, like especially to play against a team such as Spain who wants the ball so much?
Well, first of all, I believe that every pass should have an intention also, and should not just be played for the sake of it. But sometimes sometimes it's difficult for people to see the intention of a pass, of a simple pass, most of the time as well. So it depends always a little bit on the coach and obviously what he wants and what he does also in the training sessions. But especially for a game like tomorrow, you need to expect also not to have the ball, because your opponent, whether it's our opponent or Spain's opponent, is also a team that is used to have the ball, is used for a possessional game. So it could be a difference tomorrow, what the team does, or how much the team struggles without the ball. And maybe the better team that handles the situation will come out as the winner. We don't know. But it could be something that could make a difference at the end, because with the ball, both teams are on a very high level, on a very high standard. And so far from what I've seen also from the Spain team, in the games, in recent games, the intention with all the passes they played was always there. So they know exactly what they are doing, and they have great connections on the pitch.
Hello, I'm Julia from TV Globo Brazil. Germany and Spain are the best teams at the Euros so far. Do you think that tomorrow's match is going to have like a final atmosphere on the pitch because of that? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, from now on, every game is a final. That's why it's called quarterfinal, semi-final, and then final. So obviously it's do or die. It's go to the next round or not. I'm sure that both teams will play like it's a final. What you guys make out of it, then it's a different story, obviously. But I think it speaks for both teams when you say that these teams are the best teams so far in the competition. So that shows that both of us, we have done a lot of things right, but maybe not perfect. So that's also, the challenge for tomorrow. And that's why maybe also the excitement is so high, because both teams on a very similar level, on a very similar and high level, they are facing each other. And I guess there is nothing better, for a football fan or also for a player, than playing or watching these kind of games.
Hallo, Herr Gundogan, Javier Casares, Süddeutsche Zeitung. Rodri is
Hello, Mr. Gundogan. Rodri was asked yesterday if the game of the Spanish team, if it's similar to the game of Man City, and he said no, and he said there's even big differences. Do you see differences in the role of Rodri that he has in the national team in comparison to what he learned from Pep and what he's playing under Pep? Yes, I think because they don't play the same football, he has to have different roles, because if he didn't do that, he would play his own thing, and then he couldn't help the team, and then he couldn't be that brilliant for the team. So you always have a depth, of course. And of course, there's always a difference between what you play in your club and between what's happening at the national team, because the coaches are different, because they have different opinions about certain details. And that is normal. And as I said, you always have to adapt to that, and you kind of have to adapt your game style to that. Maybe you even have to sacrifice certain things of which you think that you're very good at them, but maybe you have to put them behind because maybe this coach doesn't ask so much for them. And that is why that this game, or that the game in general, then is a bit different.
Mr. Gundogan, TV4 Sweden here. You played in the game when you lost 6-0 to Spain. And do you think Germany has a hard time with Spain? We have to go back to 1988 to find a victory in a competitive game.
Yes, that fact shows that they are a very tough opponent to face, and that it's not so easy and simple to beat them. And they have great history, like obviously our German national team has. But, if you look at the past, and especially, the last 2 or 3 decades, they were better than us. That's a fact if you just look on the statistics and on paper. But hopefully we will be able to change that tomorrow.
Hey, Ilkay, how are you? Joselu said that he'd like to retire Toni Kroos tomorrow night. Do you just stick that up on the dressing room wall before you go out? And the contrast between the day you walked out at the Allianz Arena ahead of your first match and the concerns about the nation getting behind you and performing to the moment you're going out tomorrow?
Well, no, obviously no one needs to be remembered that it's the last game for Toni, because hopefully it won't be, first of all. But then obviously everyone knows, his situation and his thoughts. So we'll make everything possible to make him having 2 more games after tomorrow, hopefully. But then also the situation, compared to obviously the opening game, against Scotland, I personally feel that there's a difference, because that was the first game, you don't know what to expect. The people in the country, they don't know what to expect. The pressure is maybe very high, because people want us to do well, so badly also. And because of the recent history in the tournaments, where we just haven't been good enough. But now, we've played already some really good football. We got some really good results. We are in the quarterfinals facing an amazing opponent. So now it's just, I feel like, looking forward to, the challenge that we are facing, and looking forward to it with a smile actually as well, because we have done already, or probably the minimum, that we had to do, or that we maybe also expected from ourselves. And from now on, everything could be just, like the ice on the topping. I think that's how you say it. And hopefully we will have not just tomorrow and 2 games more, as I said earlier, but we need to start tomorrow, and we need to know that we have responsibilities, to reach the same level that we have played, and hopefully even better, to try to get into the semi-final.
Hallo Ilkay, die Fans waren bisher schon sehr laut.
Hello Ilkay, the fans were really loud in the stadiums. We even had the impression that it got louder and louder from game to game. What do you expect tomorrow in terms of atmosphere, especially in those tight games in the knockout stage? We all expect a very tight game. Can it be a factor? Can it be the factor, the support of the fans at a home Euro? Yes, it can be the decisive factor, and we are hoping for that. We're wishing for that. The atmosphere during the last game here in Stuttgart was really great. I'd say comparable with Dortmund at a very high, very good level. And in that regard, we want to show with our play style tomorrow also. We want to fire up the atmosphere, and this atmosphere can maybe push us a little bit more, because everybody who plays football knows that the feeling playing away, sometimes it can be good, but only when things go your way. But when things go against you, when you lose one-on-ones, when you do bad passes, this whole atmosphere can go a lot against you. So we want to create this moment, this situation where we get the audience behind us and let the opponent feel that we have great support here at home.
Hi, Fernando Carlos from Reuters. You said that every game is a final, no? So to have a winner, sometimes you need a penalty. And you have taken more than 20 penalties in your career. I wanted to pick your brain, because in the last few months, there is this controversy about some coaches saying that you cannot practice penalties because you cannot replicate the pressure, that you have in moments like this. So you, being a player, very experienced player, having taken penalties for clubs and for national teams, what is your routine? How do you prepare yourself? Can you replicate? Do you think that it's more like a matter of skills and training, or it's something like a lottery, like some say? Thank you.
I think the key word is routine, when you step on to take a penalty, the pressure, in the game is just different than it is in training. And obviously to, replicate it is very, very difficult. I don't believe that you can replicate it in training. You can train your routine. You can train how you want to approach a penalty, your breathing, how you get calm, because I think that is the most crucial thing, to get calm, to get your heartbeat down, and just try to be cool, and enjoy the moment of taking that penalty, which is the most difficult thing, because otherwise everyone could score a penalty, and even the best takers in the world. I automatically think about someone like Harry Kane, who has a finishing like it's unbelievable, but I also remember him missing quite a few penalties, and it's just the circumstances at the end of the day. And I missed a lot of penalties in my career so far as well. And, at the end of the day, you just try your best, and sometimes it gets rewarded and you can do it in a better way, and sometimes not. So I think, to have the guts also, to step on, to take a penalty in crucial moments, you need to show respect, even when you miss, you need to show respect for it, because, it's a situation that is extraordinary, and that is very, very difficult also to deal with.
Christoph Michel, Fußball.news. Ilkay, Sie haben vor Beginn des Turniers nochmal darauf hingewiesen, wie
Ilkay, before the tournament, you emphasized how long the season was at Barcelona, how tiring it was, but now I have the impression you're feeling quite fresh in your appearance. How did you manage to do that? And also, do you feel a little bit content that the critics are silent now? Well, I prepared very well for this tournament. I took my breaks as well, but you always have to try to keep a good balance, because you need intensive, tiring training to stay at that high performance level. And sometimes it's more important to be mentally fresh than physically fresh, because physically we're all well trained and we can manage the strain of a season as long as we're healthy and not injured. So I think in my case it was probably more a mental thing, because the season felt very long. We had many games, much traveling during the season, a lot of time in airplanes, because we played in many different places with Barca. And in that sense, it wasn't easy, but extra motivation for such a tournament in your own country, I didn't need that. And I'm really happy that thus far I showed very good performances, and I hope that I can show that I'm being able to show that again in 3 more matches, because I think we really deserve it to be here at the quarterfinal, because we have a great squad, a great group, a great trainer staff, everybody who's working behind the team, everybody works so well together. And also this mix with the fans, the atmosphere in our country, I think at this moment it's a very beautiful moment here in Germany. So we want to try to conserve that a little bit longer and try to enjoy it until the very end. And of course, for that we need good results and victories, and hopefully it's going to be a victory tomorrow.
So thank you very much, Ilkay Gundogan.
Thank you.
And good luck for tomorrow's match.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for attending the press conference. We will continue with the press conference of Team Spain at 7:45.